Okay, this is the TCS Education Support Training. My name is Diana Lee, and I'll be your trainer today. We kind of touched on this a little bit. In the upper right-hand corner of Canvas, you have Help corner, and this is where all of the help features that we have reside. The first is the Search Canvas Guides. You can get to the Canvas Guides in 3 different ways. You can guides.instructure.com, help.instructure.com, or go through the help in the top corner of the screen. So you have great access to these guides. I still use these guides all the time, so they're very useful because they help you go in really quickly and get what you need to do and find the answers that you need. With Getting Started guides for students and instructors, this is a good guide that if you want to put on your homepage at the beginning of the semester, you can link to this Student Quick Guide because it has the most common things students need to work through Canvas. I'll just go ahead and click on this. You can do the URL. You can hyperlink it in Canvas. That way the students, even though they can get to this guide themselves, it just makes it a little easier about that they can see exactly what they need to do quickly when they get into Canvas. We have guides for students, observers, instructors, designers, and admins. You can easily search the guides at the top as well by using the search. You can just type in a word and it will pull up all of the related guides to that topic. So yesterday there were some questions. A lot of times I don't think it was yesterday, but peer review is one that is a big question. So if I click on peer review, it will pull up all of the questions related to peer review. So you can easily go in and find what you need to go in and find. And this is available for all of your users. We have the mobile guides. The mobile phones are only Androids and iPhones. We don't have support for the Windows phone at this time. So there are lots of questions on the phones as the iPad. The tablet student guide is the iPad. We have video tutorials. So all of the videos, the information that we went through yesterday, like SIS import, admin tools, terms, we have videos for all those. They're about 3 minutes long. So if you want to ever refresh yourself on just a snippet, you can go in there and see it as well. So we have lots of really quick little videos to help you as well. Can we go into the guides? I'll just go ahead and go into the admin guide here. And we're going to go over Zendesk today, and I'll actually refer to some of these guides as well. But I can go in here and I can find it. Zendesk is our ticketing system. So I find Zendesk. I can see the information that I need to see. You can go in here and just click on image, and it will pull up that image so you can see the full image a little clearer. So all of the images are like that, but you can enlarge them for review. If you scroll down, this one does not have it. So let me go to a different one. Most of them have it where you can download a PDF file, the document. Let's pick a different one here to show you. So I just pick one, and then I can scroll down. We update these guides on a regular basis. So anytime there's any kind of, because yesterday we talked about how we update Canvas every 3 weeks. So we update the visuals in the guides every 3 weeks as well. This one doesn't have it either. This is interesting. Just only picking them. I should know which ones have them or not. You can download a specific PDF of guides. So this one does have it. So you'll see that there's a download lesson PDF and manual. You can download the individual message. You'll notice this was updated on September 5th. So this was just updated on their day. So this is like brand new. When you go in and download the PDF version of the guide, you can open up. You can see, you can print out. So if you do have a class or something or some kind of lesson, or you just want to have the handout, you can feel free to print these out. You can also copy and paste these. So if you're creating your own guide and you just want to use the screenshot or snippet from one of the guides, you can do that as well. So you can copy and paste from these guides. We encourage you to use these as learning tools. Also, you can download the whole manual PDF. I don't think you want to do that, and I'll show you why. This is the instructor guide. This is just the instructor guide, not all of the other guides we have available. It's 1,100 pages long, double-sided. So basically it's 2,200 pages of documents. So just be careful with not downloading the whole thing and printing it out, just because it's a lot of information. But there for you if you would like it as well. Okay, they're set up when you go into the guide. You have the chapters on the left. You also have chapters on the right, so you can quickly go in and find what you're needed. You can also just click on the title on the left-hand side. So if I had a lot of teachers asking me about analytics, I could just click this title that says analytics, and I can copy the URL, and I can send them that link to that URL. I also copy the URL for an individual lesson, and you have to actually copy up to the numbers. You don't have to copy the whole thing, but that way, if the teacher doesn't look at this guide for 3 months and all of a sudden she's like, oh wait, I think I got this, and goes back to that email, if she uses this URL, she'll get the most updated version of the guide because, like I said, they do change quite frequently. So if you share the URL, they'll get the most updated version. The question was, does the manual have a search feature? Yes. So when you go in, you just type in whatever you're looking for in the search here. And also, so like I did peer review, you could do assignments, quizzes. We'll do extra credit for an assignment here. So just search the guides, and it will pull up all information for that. It will tell you which guides or which tags that they have connected and what manual that guide is in as well. So they're very searchable. See, like this last one is for the admin guide. They always tell you too when it was last updated on the right-hand side, so you get the information right off the bat too. So in the PDF, that's a question. I've never downloaded the PDF because it's such a big file. I'll check you and find out if it is. I think that you could just do Control or Command depending on if you have a Mac or a PC. You could just do Control F and find the information in the guide as well. But that would probably pull up like a million things because there's so many repetitive words. I'll see how the F is searchable. We have foreign languages here too, so if you ever want to read it in another language, we do have that capability as well. I guess that must be French. So the guides are here for you, and again, I highly recommend if you ever get stuck or have questions or anything to find out how to use the guides. We all have, in the guide I believe it is, the staff picks. So for an example of some courses in Canvas, you can go to these public courses and look for other people create their courses. So you can just click through these. These are open courses that are used, for example, about how people set up their Canvas courses. You'll see how they do their navigation on the left-hand side, how they set up their modules. So I'll share this link with you. So this is just a great source of how ideas about how to set up your course and how other people use the Canvas. Okay. So also in the dashboard, so that's Search the Canvas Guides, and as I said, you can use these in all different kinds of ways to help yourself and others. We're going to report a problem for now. Ask the Community takes you back to the help.instructure.com. It's under the Canvas Community tab. When you run it through the help, it takes you up to the Ask a Question page, where you can go in and ask a question and have others that are using Canvas answer that question. So I'll just click on one randomly. You'll see that people from all over the U.S. are doing it. We have Canvas coaches that monitor these. You'll see that it has a little C and a badge in a shield. That's you know that that's a Canvas coach, and we consider them an expert in Canvas. So you can go through and just see how other people use what they say about it, how it helps. You can subscribe to these as well. Once you log in the upper right, so I'll go ahead and log in here. I have lots of logins, so you won't see all that I have here. But again, you'll be able to subscribe to that as well. See in the upper right, I have a subscribe. I can also just click on a subscribe for a particular question. So if I posted this question, I can subscribe to it too to make sure I get it. Or if I see another question that I want to see the answer to, I can subscribe. So anytime anyone posts to this question, I can see the answer. If it's something you're interested in and you want to know the answer to, click the Me Too. We like to know what people are thinking and what kind of questions that they have. With this page, you can click on the Canvas Community button or tab on the upper left, and this will show you community forums. We have various forums here where you can get extra help. We have conference presentations. Our InstructureCon videos are posted here. We have newsletters that you can read, fun little water cooler topics. So we have lots of items here that you can find out more about Canvas and how people are using things in Canvas. And lastly is the request a feature. You can search to see if there's something that you wish Canvas would have. We're still a young company. So I can go in, and this is add a text to a gradebook. If you like it, hit Me Too. You'll see 289 people like this. So this is actually planned, and this should be coming out soon. Basically right now in Canvas, when you have an assignment, it goes to the gradebook. It adds a column in the gradebook, and that is the only way you can add a column to the gradebook is by creating an assignment. So people have requested that they would just be able to add a column to a gradebook that isn't assigned or to a specific assignment. So we're working on this right now, and hopefully this will come out very soon. But if you go in here and you find it, be sure to Me Too it, because this catches the attention of our product team, how many people want it. So make sure you hit Me Too if it's something you want in Canvas. We also have to look at the engineering time, how it fits with Canvas, is it feasible? So there's a lot of other questions that we have to ask when we add features to Canvas. But this will definitely get our attention when a lot of people want something in Canvas. If you don't find it, go back to the feature discussion category, start a new discussion. On the right-hand side, request a feature, and just fill out the form and try to make it as clear as possible. Use tags if you can so that people can search it and find it. Select what forum you want it to be in. So just fill out the form as clear as you can be and add. That way other people can find it and go in and like it. And then we can maybe have that added to Canvas. So this is a great opportunity. Ask a question is available to faculty only. Ask the community is only available to faculty. The feature is available for faculty and students. If the students go into the help.instructure.com, they'll still have this Canvas community. They'll still have access to this part. It just doesn't show up in their help screen. Next item is the report a problem. And you guys have the Tier 1 ticketing system, so this will come directly to us. But there will be times where the ticket will come back to you if it's, and when we go over tickets, we'll go over this in a little bit more detail. But there are times when it's something specific to your school or it's a judgment call that the ticket might come back to you. So it's just kind of a good to just have some background in how the ticketing system works. And this includes you, if you're having any issues in Canvas, we always recommend search the Canvas guides. If you can't answer the question, put in the subject, description, how it's affecting you, and so you have your options here. This lets us know you know, the frustration level basically of the user. Is it just a casual question, something's broken but they can work around it, or an extreme critical emergency? A lot of times people make things a lot more extreme than it is, so you have to take that into consideration. But that way you kind of get an idea of where the user is coming from. And then miss the ticket. The ticket in your case comes directly to us, and we will take care of the problem. You guys are on Tier 1, and yesterday I said it's within 8 hours. You're Premium Tier 1. Premium is within 8 hours, but because you have that Tier 1, we will answer it within an hour. So in an hour of getting this ticket, we will take care of it. Maybe we can't solve it within an hour, but we'll definitely get back to the user within an hour to get more information or do what we need to do to take care of that ticket. You will also have a 800 number that your users can call anytime to get help, and you'll have a separate call to set all of that up. So, but you will get an 800 number to take care of questions as well. Okay, so that is the help in the upper right corner. So those are the resources that we have available. Did you have any other questions on any of these guides here? Okay. And then yesterday, too, you have your release notes. So the release is coming out on the 14th. And so we already have the video up and running. It's a 3-minute video, so you can see what's coming out and the information about what is being released. So this is all ready for you to look at and check out. The changes are going to be made, so then you'll know. Okay, question: when someone submits a ticket, do they get instant feedback saying we'll respond within an hour? They'll get instant feedback. I'm not sure. I'll have to check to see if it specifically says they'll respond within an hour, but they will get an instant reply saying that the ticket was received and being worked on. Okay, you can see the pick course, so you go into the Canvas guide, and I'll send a link to this as well. You go into the Canvas Designer Guide, or you can just type in, actually, you can just type in staff picks and search. And we'll pull up the staff picks link here. That is all the public courses that are available that you can re-look at. So different options of various courses that you can look at. The Canvas Network courses here are MOOC courses that can handle thousands of people in some cases. So those are available here that you can look at. And if any is a Walking Dead fan, we do have a course coming up next month on The Walking Dead that I think there's over 20,000 people in the course already. That's in our Canvas Network. So you'll see these Canvas Network courses. Those are open courses that are available for anyone to take, usually for free. Okay, so we're going to go into the ticketing system. You guys will have 3 people that you can assign to our ticketing system, and what that means is they would get notifications from our support if there is an issue that our support cannot solve. So if it's related to your system and our support obviously doesn't have access to your, like maybe it has something to do with your campus view or something like that. So something to do with like campus view or something like that, our support can't help. There are judgment calls too that our support is not able to take. So for example, when we go over some of the issues with quiz, the teacher might have told the students that they have multiple attempts at a quiz but forgot to select that. So when our tech support is talking to that student, the student will actually get this many attempts at a quiz, or, but it really is up to the teacher. They'll send that ticket back to you so that you can communicate with the teacher to find out if, in fact, that they do get multiple attempts. So there are things like that that the tickets will come back to you. You have 3 email addresses that you can use and assign to handle the tickets. You can generic, or you can make like 2 people and 1 generic. And how you would do that is you go into your account and just assign the person. You would go to help.instructure.com. So whoever you decide to, the person that manage the ticket, they go into report a problem. And in the subject line, they will say, please add me as a support admin for my institution. And I'll put this in the follow-up email as well. But once they're logged in, all you have to do is put this in the subject line, and our tech support will add that individual as the support admin that handle the ticket. So you get 3 of these. You make one of them or all of them generic. So if you do already have a generic address that you use for ticketing, you can go into your account admin. You will hit settings, actually add a new user first. So this could be your support admin person. Type email, I'm just doing this for an example. So you just put in the name of what you want that position to be called, and this would be the generic email that you use. So if you already have an email set up, you would put that in here and add the user. You would log in as that user and file a ticket saying, please add me as a support admin, and then we'll add that generic ticket or that generic email as one of those people that would we would reach out to if we needed additional help from your side on how to handle those tickets. Okay. So to help, I would just go to the help.instructure.com. So when you're one of those people who manage tickets, this is where you would go to manage your tickets, and this is our Zendesk ticket system. You'll set the Canvas guides to the discussions, ask the community, and file a ticket, just like the help defaults are all right here. So you can access those here as well. We have Canvas status update page where you can see if anything is down, so everything is green. You'll also see when something is wrong. We've had some little glitches in the last week because of starting. So this is not common to have this many listed here. But if there is any kind of bugs or slowness, we will post that here so you can see it as well. Okay, so to get into your ticketing system, like I said, the tickets will come directly to us, but if we need help, we will contact you. But if you're one of those 3, or you have access to the generic email, if that's one of them, you can go into the ticketing system once you log in and look at your open tickets. So when you have your open tickets, you can just scroll through and see what's going on with each of these tickets. So you can see if we're working on it, what we're doing, so you can check on us as well. Go in here and I'll just like open up a ticket. So ticket, this was one that was just submitted from this generic account, so it says support admin. This would usually on the upper left say the individual user's name when submitted the ticket. This was submitted through Canvas, and a person typed in that they can't submit an assignment. This is where you can edit some of the information. So you can change the status. We'll be managing all this again, but again, this could come back to you if it is the judgment call. The probably comes through as normal, but you can change this to like low, high, or urgent. And if I scroll down on the left here a little bit, you'll see the descriptions for each of those areas. What this is, support admin here, that's me, that's my generic email. But you can see we have Jordan and Chris here. So this is what yours will look like. You'll have 3 people. So you can have a generic one and then 2 individual users. And you have Canvas support escalation. When you see your tickets, they'll always say Canvas support escalations, or they will assign back to one of you if we can't, if it's something specific for your institution. But because you're that tier 1, all of them will be escalations. You want your institution is selected. You are on premium tier 1, so that would be your support package here. What Canvas component is affected, you would select that. Then end user, and you might have students or someone that comes into your office and you would fill in this ticket manually. So it is good to know how to submit how to submit these tickets. Canvas component issue is a how-to question, a bug, end user, or feature request. A bug is something that can be replicated. So you can go in and do it. You can get among different users and over again. So if you find something like that, please submit a ticket. When you contacted, this is an online submission. They get it through the help. However, you might have someone who chats you, emails you, comes into your office, calls you on the phone. So you have these different ways that people can let you know about the ticket. The JIRA and the RedMine, these are filled out by our tech support and our engineers. So it is us, when we are managing the ticket, we will fill those numbers in. So you never have to worry about those numbers. But if you go there and they're filled in, for sure we're working on those tickets. Have the Become a User URL. So this will link you because the person submitted it through help. This URL there is, they can just click on it. So this is helpful for our tech support because they will go in sometimes to the user's account to figure out what's going on. Because they submitted it through Canvas, they get this whole debug information here. And the key here is this user agent information. This lets tech support know what browser they're on, what type of computer, so it gives them some valuable data. So this is a really old browser, and we don't test on this browser anymore. So this could be why the person is having some of the issues that they're having. So, but this is populated because they submitted that ticket through Canvas. The user's perceived severity that the user filled out on the ticket, and all of these tags here were populated because they were filled out on the ticket. Next, you'll see these little bubbles. When it's gray, that's just like for your notes and for you to tell us stuff that's going on with Canvas. When it's green, the user will be contacted. So whoever submitted the ticket will be copied on it as well when it's green. So you would just deselect this little box at the bottom and it turns gray. That way you can communicate with us and we can communicate with you as well without the requester seeing it right in the ticket. But a student submits a ticket, the email will come to us and then we will let you know if we cannot solve it for various reasons. Like I said, if it's something specific to your system. And then you would submit the ticket. If you aren't going through here and you do have someone who's looking at it, you can put a note in the subject line up here. So I could put my initials, like if you're using that generic email, or reviewing this ticket, I'm at your account and I'm reviewing the ticket. I put my initials or my name in there and then submit this ticket. When others are going through the ticket, they'll see my initials next to it as they're going through the ticket, and they'll know that I am managing that ticket. So the way, if you are having multiple people check tickets, they're not an assignee, because the assignee will be the individual names, but if you have that generic email, this is another way where you can show managing that ticket. So back to my home page here. And if you have someone that calls you or chats you, maybe in your office, and they're just like, show you this problem, you can just go in and file a ticket. This is what a blank ticket looks like. So you can see it has no information. That's why it's so valuable to have it populated through Canvas, because a lot of these fields are populated automatically when they submit a ticket through Canvas, especially the browser information and all that. So you can always submit a blank ticket here, not blank, but you have to fill it in. But you can submit a ticket through the help here as well. if I go back into the guides and type Zendesk, and a link to this too, just so you remember. This is how do you read a Zendesk ticket. So everything I just went over, it walks you through step by step what different items mean. So this here for you. So I'll send a quick link for this as well, just in case you want to keep it handy if you're ever looking at the tickets or managing them. Okay, so the ticketing process that we have, Canvas, and how that works. Do you guys have any questions about the ticketing process? Like your tech support or with your tickets, it'll come directly to us, and we have 24/7 where your users can call us, and that 800 number, we'll get that in the next meeting that you have. Set that all up, but you'll get an 800 number that you can give your users, and they can call us directly. Okay, so things that you find that your users will ask you, and you can answer it like in 2 seconds. So these are common issues in Canvas. One of them is you may have a student that tells you that they can't submit an assignment, that their assignment's due, they can't turn it in, there's no way to submit it, but they're supposed to send it online. What you would do for that is find out what course it is and what assignment it is. So you said it was this Intro Canvas 101 course, and you go into their assignment and say it's this online submission course. So you go into that. There's no details here, and show advanced options. So it's a few steps to get in there, but this is the most common problem that we have. So this submission type here is a submission, and this is the default in Canvas. So if the teacher forgets to go into the additional options button to select online submission, the student doesn't have that submit button, and there's no way for the student to submit the assignment. So it's an easy fix. It just takes a few steps, but this is a common problem, and I actually taking a class and my teacher forgot to do this too, so it's very easy to overlook. So you just need to check that it's online, and the teacher would also need to decide if it's a text entry, which is a text entry is this box up here, where it's just a blank where they just type in their answer, website URL, like Dropbox, recording, or upload like a Word or PowerPoint document. They don't have to select all of them. They can just select one of them, but they have to have at least an online submission and one way for the student to submit the assignment. Then the student will have the submit button and be able to submit their assignment. So this is one you probably hear about or see, and so I strongly urge when we do our instructor training later about how important this is. And once you change that, you just update the assignment settings, and the students will have a button that they can actually submit the assignment. So something that you might get asked about, and it doesn't even have to come to us to tech support or anything, you can answer it. And also maybe something that our tech support might refer back to you to contact the teacher unless they contact the teacher directly. But because that's a judgment call, does the teacher really want an online submission? Another issue is the quizzes. You create a new quiz. Teachers can go in, create a quiz. They'll set up all of their settings, and they'll set up their questions. They'll save at the bottom. And so even though it's saved, you'll see that it says this is an unpublished quiz. So students will not have access to the quiz until it's published. So if a student ever says they have this quiz but they can't access it, go ahead and check to see if it's published. And this might be something that tech support will need to contact the teacher or may refer back to you to make sure the teacher really wants the quiz published. So I think they may think that they save it, but until they publish it, just like the course, the teacher or the students don't have access to it until it's published. So that is the big thing with quizzes. So for assignments, the big thing is that it needs to be an online submission, and for quizzes is that it has to be published. Okay, I have a couple questions here. A common problem, why would they not change? That is a good question. I guess because they don't want to assume everybody wants to submit online. It is a feature request, and so let's see if it is, if it's been planned, because that is I wish they would change it. So, find the homework. I'll find out where it is, because there is a feature request. I'm not sure, I can't find it so easily. Maybe not spelling right. I'll find out where it is, because this is a feature request. I'm going to add it. Yeah, I'll have to find the feature request for you. But yeah, it comes up a lot, and there is a reason they have it. You don't want everyone to assume that they're going to submit assignments online. Then the next one is, does Canvas work with Respondus quiz making software? It does. And so when a teacher goes in to create a quiz, or goes into their course settings on the bottom left here, it has to be set up in a QTI format. And so import content into this course. And QTI quiz where you would pull in that QTI format, like Respondus type questions. And also some information on Respondus for you too. Okay, so go back to the quizzes. The publish is the big thing again with the QTI format. A type of format that it has to be set up in. I believe that that's the type of file that Respondus creates when it does it for publisher content. I need to check more into how it works. But it's a type of format, so like publisher content and stuff. So I'll have to check on how that relates, because it used to say Respondus and they changed it just to the QTI format. So other things that may come up with quizzes that might happen is a teacher might tell the students that they're allowed multiple attempts at a quiz. This is the quiz settings, but just forget to check this box. So they only have one attempt. So if they multiple attempts, they need to check this box. So that might be something that, if somebody that they got multiple attempts and that box not checked, they'll need to check with the teacher to make sure they really wanted multiple attempts. Another is the quiz. If the teacher decides to restrict the quiz and require an access code, but the student doesn't know the access code, that could be a problem. Rare that's possible, so that might be something our tech support would revert back to you if the student doesn't have the access code. Maybe there's a reason the student doesn't have it. So it'll be an issue as well. And this is the same for both assignments and quizzes. You can make it available from and until. So the teacher could put in a date here that the assignment or the quiz is available. Students will see that there is an assignment, but they won't be able to access it until September 25th. and only can access it until the 26th, and then they no longer can access it. So quizzes can even lock down, so maybe they only want the quiz to be taken during the class period. So it might even be locked down to a specific time. So this, you may have students, which I sit next to tech support, and a student called our tech support and was upset because they tried to submit assignment a minute late and they didn't think it was fair. But if you put a time in here and you say that it's due at 5 o'clock and you don't take late, so I can come here as a teacher and I can say, okay, this is due at 5 o'clock. If it has this until, it means at 5:01 that assignment will not be, you cannot submit the assignment or the quiz. That means it's locked out after 5 o'clock. Because it's a computer, it doesn't know the difference between 1 minute late. So you have like students who, are upset because they only were a minute or two late. The due date is different. The due date is when it was due, but so it could have been due on the 24th or something, or the 26th. Just has a due date. That means the students can turn the assignments in late. So it'll be marked late, but you can still turn it in and access the assignment even though it's late. When you see these available from and until dates and times, that means you don't accept late homework. So the question was, can you set a from or until only one or the other? Yes. So you can have it, so it's only that you don't take late homework. So you could have it, so this until, so the exact same time as the due date. That way, it's when it's due, that's when it's due. You don't take late homework. So you can just have the until. And you also have just the available from, so that they can access it at this date. So then you can kind of, that your students can't work ahead, that they can start, they can see the details on this date. And this works the same for quizzes and assignments. It does not state whether it is Pacific time. If students have if the students, whatever the time zone for the student is what it will display for the student. So if your account is Central Time, but you have students that are working in Pacific time, they'll need to change their time zone in their personal settings to time zone that they live in. So if they go into their own settings in the upper right, they can edit and put their time zone in here. Then the time zone is always their time zone, so they don't have to calculate the difference. This will override the time zone of the account. Good questions, guys. As I mentioned earlier as well, that browser that I showed you earlier was, let me go in here. The that I showed you earlier was an old browser, an old Firefox. So I can go into my user details, and so we'll pick on Jan today. So I can go into a user's account. I'll scroll down and look at. You can see what browser Jan has been working in. So you can see what is called the user agent. So you can go into the individual user. So if let's see if she's got any weird ones here. Okay, so we've got Firefox 23. I don't know if that's that old. So you see all of the different browsers Jan has been working in. So she said on a certain date something was acting weird. You could go in, and this is a good resource to keep handy. You go to guides and type in browsers, and I'm going to click link to this as well. But know what browsers Canvas supports. So this is updated quite frequently. It's almost updated every month. So you see that it was updated August 22nd. In May, we dropped Internet Explorer 8. I'm not sure what we dropped this time, or if we added something, but this will let you know what the current browsers are that we test on. That doesn't mean other ones won't work. It just means we don't test on them anymore. So these are the current browsers that we test on. and you can see that. So this is good to keep handy. We also have links to various browsers that and Flash as well, that you can upload quickly. So we have browser information. So this is a good resource to keep handy. So if you see someone's using an old browser that we no longer support, that could be why there's some issues there. So you would see what browser they're on through their user account, or if they submitted a ticket, you can see their browser as well if they submitted it through Canvas. Okay, a couple more questions here. So that student could have changed their time zone and submitted the assignment. No, the assignment is due at a time zone that the teacher is in. When the student changes their time zone, it will just say that it's due an hour earlier, an hour later than the teacher's time zone. So it's due at the exact same time. It's just the students don't have to calculate what that means in their time zone. Yeah, it doesn't matter what, it's just like the student, it's due at 12 o'clock Central Time, then it will show up, if the student is on Mountain Time, it'll show up that it's due 11 a.m. Mountain Time. So they just don't have to articulate being like, it won't show up on their calendar as, they don't say, oh, I'm in an hour different time zone, what does that mean for me? So it makes it easy for the student to understand exactly when it's due in their time zone. I'm not instructed to do that. That is something, you know, you might, if you have a lot of online students, I would recommend letting your students, like on your home page or your welcome, your syllabus or something, send them directions on how they can change their time zone. So it's not required, but I just make sure if you have a lot of online students to recommend that they change their time zone. Okay, on the users page as well, when you see this pencil, you can change, like if you needed to change their login or the SIS ID. You're all that, so you don't have to worry about the password at all. So that's good. Okay. That's everything pretty much. So we went over just a few scenarios. With your team system, you guys have it made, so you don't have to worry about a lot of the ticketing things. It just might be issues that will come back to you that are related to your specific school that our tech support needs to get your advice. And they'll contact one of the 3 people via email. Any questions on anything that we've gone over today or even yesterday that I can help you with? We will reach out to you too to set up the support training for Tier 1 support so that you can get up your 800 line. Everybody, thank you so much for your time and everything. If you have any questions that you think of, I know this is like a lot of information you guys are gathering. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And I'll send a line for another minutes or so if you guys have any questions.